You and Baz have worked together before, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Had you guys talked about somehow coming back together after that?
Oh, Baz and I have remained friends ever since I was 18 years old, when I first went to Australia to do this sort of test rehearsal for Romeo and Juliet. And we've always talked about working together again. There were a few different projects that never turned into a reality, but you know, he came to me and handed me a first edition of The Great Gatsby, and he had read the novel on, I believe, a train ride through India, and said, "This is one of my life's passions. I have to do it." And he's never been afraid to tackle great literature, and has this intense desire to put up on screen very dramatic, powerful stories. So I knew that, you know, The Great Gatsby was a huge undertaking, but I admire his enthusiasm and his ability to take risks like that. I think he's a bold filmmaker. Venturing into a novel like this that is so beloved, such a classic piece of American literature, is intimidating in its own right. But to be able to have, you know, a partnership and a friend like Toby that I've known for 25 years, to enter into this world with, who's always going to have my best intentions at heart, and vice versa, somebody who I can always be honest with, was a huge benefit. And you know, I've known Baz for 20 years as well, so you know, I knew that as long as we had that sort of check and balance with one another, we would make something special. And you know, all of our focus was really on concentrating back on the words of Fitzgerald.
He's a big, you know, dad and husband, and lots of ladies are always like, when is Leo gonna play that role in real life?
Right. I never really talk about that stuff.
It doesn't interest you at all?
No, I just never talk about those things.
But how about Carrie? How did she land this role of Daisy? Because this kiss that everybody's talking about is, I heard, quite intense.
Well, you know, we met a lot of different actresses for the very coveted role.
So you had to kiss a lot of different actresses?
No, not kiss them, but we did readings with them, and she was able to, you know, sort of manifest the complexity that is Daisy Buchanan. You know, it's a very complicated role. She has to be this angelic figure of youth and purity and Gatsby's imagination, but in reality she's a much more twisted version of that. And she had to have the sophistication, the actress had to have the sophistication to do both of those things simultaneously. You had to have Gatsby want to protect this figure from the past, but she's also somebody that is able to dismiss people and things with the flip of a hand. And Carrie just came in and really blew us away in the reading, and as soon as she left, I turned to Baz and I said, wow, I guess we've seen one of the great actresses of our generation. And we hired her kind of on the spot.
How important is it having like artists like Jay-Z now and Q-Tip being part of films like this? Because I watched the movie and I'm bobbing my head at the same time, which was pretty awesome.
Well, you know, what jazz was during this time period was a new transformative music that was, you know, percolating from the streets, but you know, every class and every type of person was listening to it. And I thought it was a brilliant choice for Baz to use hip-hop as the sort of modern-day interpretation of that. And you know, oftentimes you hear about that type of music being used in a period piece and you're immediately skeptical, but to me, you know, he pulled it off with flying colors, and it really makes you feel like you're transported back in that time, but you also get the modern reference of what that music meant.
And there was so much beautiful art, just the opulence of the movie. Opulence was the perfect word to describe this movie. Was there anything that you wanted to collect from the set to bring back to your art collection at home?
CM, who's been Baz's partner for as long as I can remember, is so intricately a part of creating these universes. And she's, for as long as I could remember, not been just involved in creating the spectacle that is a Baz Luhrmann film. She's intricately involved in the drama of the story as well. So, you know, we got to immerse ourselves in the jazz era of the 1920s in Australia, and every day we're, you know, transported back in time into these insane sets. And what he was able to pull off is truly amazing.